This is the first card that we're looking at from the 1993-94 Topps Finest set. 93-94 Finest is very important historically. The chromium technology that Topps was working on, and they were working hard. Look at all of the patents that they were filing right here, trying to discover innovative ways to produce cards. This technology was the origin of not just all the finest cards, but future chromium sets like Bowman's Best and Topps Chrome. And this set was the birth of refractors. This was the start of trying to really push technology in card construction. But when you talk about this set, there's an elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. These cards turn green. It's really upsetting. I'm going to put a link to another video in the description. It's a box break of 93-94 Finest. And you can see these cards are already green, straight from the packs. Now, yes, Finest was pushing boundaries on innovating card construction with this chromium technology. And, look, put yourself back in 1993-94 and seeing this type of card with this unique metallic shine and that rainbow background for the first time. Yeah, this was innovative. This was new. And this busy, colorful background, this is just pure mid-90s. No apologies for it. Really fun design. But unfortunately, I guess this is life. In your effort to innovate, sometimes trying something new, you don't see the effects of those decisions until years after the fact. So here we are, years later, and we're discovering what collectors today call greening. Or, if you want a touch of humor, hulking. Now, there's not a lot we can say that's conclusive about this. Stories abound. Half of a set turned green, the other half didn't. My cards turned green in BGS slabs, PSA slabs. I had a collection that avoided turning green for 15 plus years. Then suddenly one day, there you go, they begin to turn green. And look, as you can see from that video I'll put in the description, they can come from packs already green nowadays. There are people who swear that if you avoid humidity and light, they're not going to turn. But there's also people that are 100% confident that the fate of all these early chromium cards is eventually, at some point in time, to turn green. Not a lot we can say for sure. What can we say for sure? Well, look, it never hurts to avoid humidity and sunlight. It might not be the solution to the greening, but it sure doesn't hurt. We also know that even though many factors contributed, there seems to be a reaction between the ink and the other materials causing this greening, because changes were made and cards produced after 1998 aren't yet affected by this phenomenon. I chose this card. This is the number 114, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, and I chose it because it shows like a fully complete greening process. See, the non-chromium parts of the card, particularly the player himself, the color over time will leach from the card, and it leaves this very pale green. It's not as fun as like the actual Hulk when we say hulking of our cards, but this is what happens. See, the color has all drained from it. And yeah, this is like a maximum green. The chromium parts of the card aren't as affected. By the way, this is not a refractor. This is a base card. Pictures don't do these cards justice. See, the light is not refracting. It's just reflecting off this card. The refractors have a lot more color. But for even a base, really nice card here. Moving on from the topic of greening, this card is part of a 40-card subset inside 93-94 Finest. What they did with these 40 cards, they're cards number 90 through 129. They picked 10 players from each division, and then they labeled them. See, this one is from the Midwest division, obviously. He's the 5th card in that collection of 10 for the top Midwest players. But they did this for the Atlantic, Central, and Pacific division as well. It would say Atlantic's finest, or as this one says, Midwest's finest. And these cards, this subset, they're very, very close in design to the base cards. Very close. Some things that are identical. This blue bar with the player's name, no difference there. And especially on the back, let's take a look at the back. Almost identical to the base cards. The gold bar with the name is identical. The action photo of the player breaking through this, it's often referred to as marble, but it always looked like stone or a rock to me. That's identical to the base cards. The card number is identical to the base cards. So what's different about this subset? Well, first of all, the statistics, these give the statistics of the player versus their division as well as the previous season's totals. The statistics within the division, that's very unique. That's a very unique feature of this subset. And on the front, there are 2 important differences. The most obvious one, how you know that you have a card from this subset right away, is the brick wall behind the player. And of course, the other one is just the inclusion of the division name right here above the word finest. Now, other than this 40-card subset, the rest of the 220-card set, it's just base cards, veterans and rookies. They're scattered randomly throughout the set, not really organized by team. I guess overall, to sum this up, despite the greening, don't underestimate the historical importance of this set. It's such an important set of basketball cards. It was cutting edge when it came out. Before I go, in addition to that video of the box break to see the green, I'm going to put a link to an article. I talked about this article a lot, discussing later finest cards, and it shows a guy who took apart a Topps Chrome card, and he looked up those patent numbers that we were looking at earlier, and he really goes into depth about how these cards were constructed. If you have any interest at all in that, and it may have a little bit to do with why they turn green, please check out that link. It's not mine. It's not my article, but it's really neat. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.